political change has come here to Egypt. Hosni Mubarak is gone, but the question is what happens now? What happens and what needs to happen to get businesses back to fully functioning, to help to grow this economy? Remember, so many of the challenges that led to political and social unrest was the lack of trickle-down economics, really. So many people felt that the income gap had widened out. But at the same time, Egypt's economy was growing. And we've seen businesses, particularly in the financial sector, experience some real success. One of them is Beltone Financial. Their CEO and chairman is with me here live on this Cairo balcony overlooking what is a loud traffic jam. I apologize for that.
Great view, though.
This is, of course, Aladdin Saba of Beltone. And thank you so much for battling that traffic to get here. But I want to ask you, there are so many questions about why the banks are once again closed and why the stock market is not reopening. What are you being told about when we'll see fully functioning?
We're hoping that the stock exchange will start functioning again on Sunday. It was planned to start on Wednesday. Tomorrow is a day off because of a religious holiday. But what put it off are the demonstrations that were happening yesterday and today. Some executives could not get into their offices within the banks, and that's what's, if you can't have the banks functioning, then we won't be able to have the stock exchange function.
And we had heard of these protests at some of the banks here in this country, with employees coming out and demanding higher wages and demanding that management changes. Do you fear an impact from some of the populist sentiment?
I don't think that that's going to last. I think it's a new experience for everybody. Demonstrations worked. They managed to topple the regime. So they think that demonstrations can do everything for them. But I think this is something that is a new learning experience. I don't think it's going to last for too long.
So when the markets do reopen and you are able to be back in full, engine running on this economic activity, what do you expect from some of your international investors? Do you fear capital flight?
No, actually, from international investors, we've been getting a very positive feedback. Most of the institutional investors, basically in Europe and the US, as well as the Arabian Gulf, are looking at increasing their exposure to Egypt because they're looking at Egypt post-revolution, and they're looking at a much more democratic society. They're looking at higher growth rates that they would expect, not in 2011, but in 2012. So looking at coming in at those levels. I think on the other hand, we're going to see some of the retail investors who are going to be having the risk capacity has gone down dramatically. So I think we're going to see retail selling, but institutional and particularly foreign investors buying into the market.
So the Egyptian retail investor, you don't expect to be back and fully invested. But when it comes to the sectors that you're seeing the most interest in, is it the bet on the demographic play of the young and rising? Is it the bet on what exactly as the future of growth?
I think we're going to see a very good performance for anything that's related to consumers. Consumer demand is going to go up because of the confidence that is being rebuilt in the economy. We're also seeing the telecom sector. We're expecting it to perform quite well. It has been hammered in the past before the revolution, so the valuations are extremely interesting. Some of the real estate companies, particularly the ones that operate in the middle income bracket, we're expecting that to do quite well as well.
Do you fear, I asked you about the populist sentiment, but there's certainly, what we've seen from the top down is a pushback against some former ministers and a freezing of assets for those companies that they have investments in. Do you expect there to be sort of a ceiling put on the stock prices of some of those companies?
I think we're going to see some of these companies get badly hurt because their CEOs or the man behind them or the person behind them is in problems now. So I think some of these companies are going to be very badly hit. And I think the market is more interested in companies that are not related to the past regime, as well as the second-tier companies, of which there are quite a few that are very interesting opportunities.
I'm interested in what you, as an Egyptian businessman, see as different now. What can you do now that you couldn't do just a week ago?
I think what is different is that the government and the regime now realizes that they are very accountable to the people. So the corruption that was there is going to be a lot less. We're going to have a much reduced. But I think what's really different is the national pride that has developed within the people. People are now very proud for being Egyptians, and they're very proud to buy Egyptian, and they're very proud to clean up their streets. They're very proud to, despite the incredible traffic jams that you see, but people are very polite in dealing with traffic. So we're going to see a totally different sentiment going forward. People are asking that tourists have internal tourism, not to fly outside of the country. So the nationalistic pride, I think, is going to make a huge difference going forward.
Well, good luck to you, and good luck to getting back to growth, back to business. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
Beltone Financial joining us here in Cairo.